Hi, this is Jane at the Tahlequah Public Library, and we have a quick look book recommendation for fall. The book that we're recommending is The Scorpio Races. It's by Maggie Stiefvater. It's a young adult book, but it's a book that can be enjoyed by adults too. It's one of my favorite books. I read it after I had read her Raven Cycle books, and it's actually my favorite book that she's written. And this is a good fall read because it does take place in the fall in October and November, and it's really just a great book. So the story takes place on the island of Thisbe, an imaginary island on Thisbe, and it's in the Scorpio Sea. So these are all made up places. So it takes place in the Isle of Thisbe in the Scorpio Sea, and every October these water horses, they emerge from the sea, and on the 1st of November the island has what are called the Scorpio Races. And the water horses are kind of like from Celtic mythology, like the Kelpie. So that's what they are. They're flesh-eating horses. They can be very violent, and they attack other horses, dogs, people even. So every November they have these Scorpio Races. And since the horses are so wild and volatile, the races can be very dangerous, and every time they have a race there are people that die. And the race has only been run by young men up until this race that you're going to be reading about in the Scorpio Races, when a young girl decides that she wants to compete. So the Scorpio Races has a lot of great characters, but the two main characters are a young man named Sean. He is the 4-time champion of the Scorpio Races, and he's a horse trainer, so he trains the water horses, but he actually works as a stable hand for a very rich family on Thisbe, and he's kind of like bound to them. They sponsor him, and he's trying to become independent of this wealthy family and own the horse that he races for himself. So he wants to be independent of them and own that horse free and clear, and that's why he's running in the Scorpio Races again and wants to win. And then the next main character is the young woman. Her name's Puck, and she's responsible for her younger brother. She has an older brother, but she's much more responsible for her younger brother after her parents have died. And so she's trying to save her home and provide for herself and her brother. And so she decides to enter the Scorpio Races, but on her regular land horse. So it's a regular horse, and she wants to be in the Scorpio Races too, and they've never had a female in the races before, so it really causes some people to be upset. And Maggie Stiefvater, the author, is just a really great writer. The characters are like people that you feel you know after you've been reading it for a little bit. The characters of Sean and Puck, their experiences and their feelings and the bond that grows between them, it really will stick with you for a long time. I mean, it's probably one of the best books that I've read. And so I really encourage you to read the Scorpio Races. It has a lot of action, it has fantasy, there's kind of some magic. It moves along really quickly. It's one of those books that you'll think about after you've finished reading it. And I've read it a couple times actually. The first time I read it, like I said, was after I had read the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater, which I also recommend. I ended up liking the book so much that I listened to the audio. The audio is really good. The last time I listened to it not too long, I actually teared up a little bit, but it's one of those books that'll really stick with you, and so I hope that you read the Scorpio Races. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.